The SEAL Admiral asked the janitor a simple question, not because he was curious, but because he was bored. "What is your call sign?" The room laughed before the man could answer. No one expected what happened next. Because the moment he said Lone Eagle, the Admiral stopped smiling, stopped breathing easily, and slowly realized he had just made the worst joke of his career. Asterisk, what city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more real stories about extraordinary people. Every morning before sunrise, Daniel Carter pushed a gray cleaning cart through the polished hallways of a coastal naval base. His uniform was not camouflage or dress white. It was blue, faded, and stitched with a name tag that simply read Carter. He mopped floors that reflected metals he would never wear in public. He emptied trash cans beneath framed photographs of heroes whose faces stared forward, forever frozen in honor. Daniel was a single father. His daughter Emma waited every evening at home, homework spread across the table, counting the minutes until his key turned in the door. He worked 2 shifts, one at the base, one at a grocery store, because life had not offered him shortcuts. He never complained. He never explained his past. He kept his head down and did his job well. To most people on base, Daniel was invisible. Just another janitor who nodded politely and moved out of the way. But there were moments, quiet moments, when someone would notice how straight he stood, how his eyes tracked exits without thinking, how his hands never shook, even when carrying heavy loads. Those moments passed quickly. No one asked questions. That afternoon, the base hosted a strategic briefing. Officers moved with purpose. Security was tight. The air carried tension that Daniel recognized instantly, the kind that came before difficult decisions. As he cleaned the outer hallway near the briefing room, laughter spilled out from inside. High-ranking voices. Confident voices. The door opened, and Admiral Thomas Reeves stepped out, still smiling from whatever joke had just landed. Reeves was respected, feared, and known for his sharp tongue. He noticed Daniel polishing the floor and raised an eyebrow. "Well, look at that," the Admiral said loudly. "Even our janitors are working overtime today." A few officers chuckled. Daniel did not react. He kept polishing, steady and quiet. Reeves watched him for a moment, then smirked. "Hey, Carter, right? Tell me something. What was your call sign when you served? Or did they not give those to mop specialists?" More laughter followed. Daniel stopped polishing. He stood up slowly and turned to face the Admiral. His face was calm, unreadable. "I had one, sir," the Admiral said. The Admiral folded his arms, amused. "Oh? Enlighten us." Daniel met his eyes without hesitation. "Lone Eagle." The hallway went silent. Admiral Reeves's smile vanished. His posture stiffened. He stared at Daniel as if the walls had shifted. Officers exchanged confused glances, unsure why a simple phrase had changed the air so completely. "That is not funny," Reeves said quietly. Daniel's voice remained steady. "I am not joking." Sir Reeves searched his face, looking for cracks, sarcasm, anything that would make sense. There was none. Only recognition began to surface, slow and unwelcome. He swallowed. "Where did you serve?" Daniel answered without pride or bitterness. "Joint Special Operations Task Group, Classified Wing." Call sign assigned after the Karakoram extraction. The Admiral's breath caught. He remembered that mission. Everyone at his level did. Lone Eagle was not a nickname passed around lightly. It belonged to a man who had flown into impossible conditions to extract an entire team alone after both pilots were killed. A man who stayed in the air with a failing aircraft while taking fire, refusing to leave anyone behind. "You are supposed to be dead," Reeves whispered. Daniel shook his head slightly. "I retired early. Medical and personal reasons." The hallway felt smaller. The officers who laughed earlier now stood frozen, unsure where to look. The Admiral straightened his uniform and lowered his voice. "Why are you here?" Daniel glanced at the mop, then back at Reeves. "Because my daughter needs stability. Because I needed a quiet job. Because this base was far enough from everything I wanted to forget. Reeves nodded slowly. He had commanded men like Daniel. He had sent them into the dark and then moved on with his career while they carried the weight home. I owe you an apology, Reeves said. Not just for the joke. Daniel did not respond immediately. Then he spoke, not with anger, but with truth. Respect should not depend on rank or memory, sir. The Admiral looked down. You are right. Word spread quickly, though details remained unclear. By evening, no one laughed when Daniel passed. Some saluted out of instinct before catching themselves. Others simply stepped aside, eyes lowered. Daniel went home that night to Emma, who ran into his arms like always. He helped her with homework, cooked dinner, and listened as she talked about her day. She did not know about Lone Eagle. To her, he was just Dad. The next morning, Daniel returned to work. Same cart, same halls. But something had shifted. Not in how people treated him, but in how he carried himself. Not taller, not prouder. Just lighter. He did not need recognition. He had never needed it. What he needed was peace. The Admiral never joked about call signs again, because he learned that day that heroes do not always wear uniforms. Sometimes they push cleaning carts, carry lunch pails, and go home to help with math homework. Sometimes the strongest people in the room are the ones no one bothers to see. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.